Should you spend £299 on this Dyson Pure Cool Purifying Fan, or actually, is this like £25 cheapo fan from Amazon better? Today we are going to be carrying out some tests using some fairly scientific tools and answering that questions. And well, spoiler alert, the results might just surprise you. If you're new here, hi, my name is Pete, and on this channel we help busy entrepreneurs find the best tech, be productive, and stay safe online. Now the first question I'm going to answer is, why compare the Dyson to this fan? And the answer is because, well, it's the one I've already got. I'm sure you've already got one of these fans like lying around, probably the white desktop one that rotates. Now I already had this black one as it's smaller, but you bought it because it's cheap, it does the job. But now you're a little older, a little wiser, and you're being lured in by Dyson's pretty aesthetics and promises to cool you down better, faster, stronger. And it should, because it's almost £300 more expensive than the cheap fan that you've already got. So the first test I ran on these two fans is how blowy the fans get, because, well, the whole point of a fan is to push a lot of air and really blow you. I tested the Dyson first on every speed setting because, well, it has 10, and the results were from 3 feet away, which is typically how far you would sit at a desk and maybe lay down on a bed. Now results range from can't feel a thing on settings 1 and 2 through to 5 miles per hour on setting 10. Otherwise known as the nothing will stay on your desk setting. And this was fairly in line with the cheaper fan, though it only has 3 settings of, well, blowy, more blowy, and, well, very blowy. There is no low setting that compares with how low the Dyson will go. Though I will say the radius of the air being moved with the cheaper fan was much, much larger. The Dyson has a precision feature where you have to be sat in a very, very specific sweet spot, or you basically just don't feel anything. On to the next scientific test, and this time we are using the noisometer, which accurately records how loud these fans really are. And again, on the lowest speed settings, you can't really hear it above the ambient room noise. I mean, it's on level 1 right now. And that's because, well, it's not really doing anything. I mean, certainly when you sat 3 feet away, you just don't feel anything. But as you ramp up the speeds, the noise steadily increases by about 2 decibels each time. Looking at the cheaper fan, the max speed on both is the exact same amount of noise, so no differences here, but the lower setting is around the level kind of 6 on the Dyson, but it does push more air for that same level of noise. Really interesting thing here is when we take a look at the power consumption. Now, when doing nothing, when completely switched off, the Dyson consumes a very small amount, which is pretty much nothing, but as with anything like this, a lot of pretty much nothings devices around the house can add up to quite a bit, whereas the cheaper fan consumes nothing. But as you'd expect, the Dyson goes from not using much to up to almost 40 watts at max power, which on a fairly average energy tariff would cost you around 18 pence per day to have this on all day, and just under £6 for a whole month. Now over with the cheapo Amazon fan, it uses less energy at its highest setting, which produces the same wind speed but more volume of air pushed, and would cost around 16 pence per day and around £4.75 per month. But what about the unique features of the Dyson? Because it's a pure Cool fan, which talks about projecting cooled, filtered air precisely to where you need it. Now for my test here, I placed a thermometer directly in line of the projected air and monitored this over half an hour to see whether it brought the temperature down. And in my test, the Dyson brought it down by 0.2 of a degree, which was only because the overall room temperature actually dipped a little. Otherwise, they both performed exactly the same, and when sat directly in front of the fan, it feels no colder than the cheaper fan. With the basis of the Amazon fan being cheaper, one might ask, why would you in fact go and buy the Dyson fan? Well, if you want a fan that can go much, much lower at a much quieter speed, can blow only in specific areas, that's what she said, and rotates quietly too, then the Dyson could be a good buy. And that's one thing that I find with every rotating fan that I ever come across is, well, after a while, the turning mechanism gets really, really noisy. So that is a big plus so far with the Dyson, and I'll link down below to buy one of these as well, but you can hear it is absolutely silent when turning. It also has a HEPA filter inside to take out all of the nasties from the air, which is, of course, very nice. But at £299, you'd actually be far better off buying some of the dedicated air purifiers, which I'll also link to down below the video, at less than half of the cost of one of these Dysons. And you'll have a fan that pushes bigger volumes of air with less energy use and just does a better overall job of keeping you cool. If you like this video, you'll love this playlist of my most popular tech review videos. Otherwise, thanks for watching and see you later.